Alrighty, guys, here's some support on question number 21. So, question number 21 says that we need to solve for all values of x in the simplest form. Alright, so for this question, guys, we see these two lines right here. Alright, those two lines are called absolute values. So, those two lines are called what, guys? Absolute values. Alright, so what you need to know when solving an absolute value equation is that you will always end up having two answers. So how many answers are we going to have, guys? Two answers, all right? So let's find those two answers, guys, all right? So the first thing we're going to do, guys, is that we need to find the value of x, okay? So to find the value of x, guys, I need to move things away from the x, okay? So in front of this x is a -1, then beside of it is a 10, then we have a 7, and in front of this absolute value is also a -1, all right? So the first thing I'm going to get rid of is the 7, because it's the furthest thing away from my x. To move a +7 to the other side that's not attached to anything, I would subtract 7, that would cancel out, and my -1 absolute value, 10 minus 1 absolute, or minus 1x absolute value I would bring down, is equal to what's 3 take away 7? -4, all right? Now I'm going to break up this couple because this -1 is technically being multiplied by my absolute value. So I need to divide by -1, divide by -1, all right? So this canceled, and I'm left with absolute value 10 minus 1x absolute value is equal to -4 divided by -1 is +4, okay? So now I'm going to set up my absolute value. So this absolute value means that your 10 minus 1x could be equal to a +4, or your 10 minus 1x could be equal to a -4. So again, let's take a moment to look at that again. So the absolute value means that whatever your solution is could be the positive of that number or the negative of that number. So my equation, 10 minus 1x, could be the positive of that number or the negative of whatever it's equal to. Okay? So now let's find x. So to find x, I will subtract 10 first, then I cancel that out. My -1x, I will bring it down. -4 minus 10 is -14. Now I'll bring up this couple because again, that -1 is attached to that x, so it's like a couple. To break up a couple, you divorce, and what sounds like divorce? Divide. So the opposite of multiply is divide, but again, you can think about it like breaking up a couple. So x is equal to -14 divided by -1, which is +14. So that's one of my values of x. But am I done? No, because absolute value has how many answers? 2. So let's get the next one by first subtracting 10. Subtract 10, cancel, all right? My -1x, I bring it down. 4 minus 10 is -6. Now I'm going to break up that couple by dividing by -1 on both sides, all right? So your x is equal to -6 divided by -1, which is +6, okay? So my two answers are 14 and +6. So all I would type in is just the number. You do not have to type the x equal because they already typed it for you. So 14 and 6. All right, so again, just like that. So let's do another one, guys. Let's do another one, okay? Because the more you practice, the better you'll get at this, okay? So again, I need to get my two answers. First things first, I need to figure out what I'm getting rid of first. All right, I would need to get rid of this 1 first because it's the furthest thing away from your x and it's not attached to anything, okay? So I would subtract 1, cancels. My 5, that's been attached to absolute value of 4 plus x, I would bring down, is equal to 46 take away 1 is 45. Now I'm going to break up this attachment, all right? So again, that 5 is attached to it, so I'm going to break up the attachment by dividing by 5, dividing by 5. So I have absolute value 4 plus x is equal to 45 divided by 5 is 9. So now I'm going to apply the absolute value. So that means that this 9 could be a positive 9 or a negative 9. Right? So I would have two equations. 4 plus x could be a positive 9, or 4 plus x could be a negative 9. All right? Those are the two equations I would have. So let's find x, guys. I would subtract 4, cancel. X will be equal to 9, take away 4, which is 5. And because we want a positive x, that is it. We can assume that in front of here is a 1 and divide by 1. But again, if you divide by that 1, the 5 would stay the same. Okay? So you don't need to. Okay? So I would subtract 4, cancel. Your x will be equal to negative 9 minus 4 is negative 13. And again, you can assume in front of here is a 1, but if we divide by that positive 1, negative 13 still stays the same. All right? So my two answers are 5, negative 13, or you can type it as negative 13, 5. Doesn't matter which one you type in first. Okay? So let's do another one, guys. All right? So for this one, guys, do the same thing, guys. In front of here, we assume it's a 1, okay? But the first thing you would have to get away is that negative 5, okay? Because, again, it's the non-couple, okay? And it would technically be the furthest thing away from your x, okay? So I would add 5, cancel. My 1 that's being attached to absolute value of 4 plus x, I would break down. 7 plus 5 is 12, okay? I could now divide by 1, but would that 12 change? No. All right, I would still have the positive 12. Okay, so now we're going to apply the absolute value because there's nothing in front of them anymore. So this 12 could be a positive 12 or a negative 12. All right, so we would have two equations, one of them being 4 plus x is positive 12, and the other one being 4 plus x equal negative 12. All right? So I would subtract 4, cancel, and your x is equal to 12, take away 4, which is 8. And then the next answer that we get, so 8. And then the next answer, subtract 4. So x could be equal to negative 12 minus 4 is negative 16. All right. So again, your two answers are 8 and negative 16, and it doesn't matter the order in which you type them. Okay. So again, just like that. So let's do one more, guys. Do one last one. Okay, because there's not many variations for these. Okay. So what do you think I'm going to do first? Add 2? No, because the 2 is attached to the absolute value. So I need to subtract 9. So I'm going to bring down my attached couple. All right, is equal to 5 take away 9 is negative 4. So now I'm going to break up the attachment. So I'm going to break up whatever we're multiplying by here by dividing by negative 2. All right, so I have absolute value 2x plus 1 is equal to negative 4 divided by negative 2 is positive 2. So now I'm going to apply my absolute value. Because again, there's nothing in front of my absolute value anymore or behind of it. So this 2 could be a positive 2 or a negative 2. So now I'm going to write two equations, one of which is 2x plus 1 could be a positive 2. The second would be 2x plus 1 could be a negative 2. All right, so I'm going to find the value of x, subtract 1, cancel. So we have 2x is equal to 2 take away 1 is 1. Now I'm going to break up this attachment, so break up that multiply by dividing by 2. So your x is equal to 1/2. All right, because you cannot divide 1 by 2. Okay, so over here I would do the same thing, subtract 1, cancel. The 2x, I bring it down, is equal to negative 2 minus 1 is negative 3. Divide by 2. X is equal to, I can't divide 3 by 2, and a negative divided by positive stays as negative 3 over 2. All right, so again, guys, those are my two answers. And it doesn't matter which one you type in first, so negative 3 over 2, and then your next answer is 1 over 2. All right, so again, guys, just like that. All right, just like that.